All right, welcome to our latest Hoopscast, and there will definitely be at least one or two more, I guess, as Florida continues to advance. The Gators winning against Marquette, and that Marquette was as advertised in terms of how hard they played and how fast they played, but Florida handled it pretty well.
It seemed like they got to a lot of loose balls, but I thought the magic number was 15 in turnovers, and Florida only had 11. I thought they did a terrific job today handling the ball and limiting their mistakes. And when they did make a mistake, they got back in transition and played defense. I mean, Florida outscored them in points off turnovers, 14-13, and I thought that was a huge factor in the game.
Yeah, as we tape this, by the way, it's 1:30 and back where you are, but where we are, it's still early in the night, but it certainly was I thought the performance of Brad Beal was just amazing. We've seen him play well all year. We've seen him have this game and that game, but this game, I thought, and I asked Billy afterwards when he was done with the press conference if it was his best game, and he said, pretty good.
Yeah. Got the second foul on Crowder, which was really big in the first half by being in great position for the offensive rebound, and 52-44. When Florida went through that drought, they only scored about 2 baskets for about 5 minutes from about the 12 to 7 minute mark in the second half. Made a really big driving layup, I think, that got Florida back righted and back on track. And he was really assertive down the stretch, even though he missed some shots, but he made, obviously with 21, I mean, it was just a terrific performance by him.
Yeah, I mean, and I thought everybody, what I wrote about in my column was that, I'm sure not very many people had Florida going to the Elite Eight. Well, not many people knew Casey Prather was going to become Will You Get. Not many people knew that Brad Beal was going to treat this stage like he was a senior instead of a freshman, and that Eric Murphy was going to get a little nasty streak going. I mean, he really he's toughened up in this NCAA tournament.
Yeah, 10 rebounds. He was terrific on the boards. Mike Rosario contributing as well for the second game in a row with 4 points. I think it's really clicking. They've had some good matchups. Marquette being a little undersized, but I think they've handled it well. And what they've really done is, I think, very well is attack the weaknesses of other team. And everyone, I was on a radio yesterday, and they're saying, is it just a simple case of them, not hitting threes or not going to win? And they were 7-27 from three-point range today and still find a way to win. It was 4-23 against, Virginia, still won. So they're driving the basket. They're finding other ways to score. They're manufacturing points through a lot of different ways, and they're playing defense, and that's the key. They've held 3 opponents in the tournament under 60 points, and anytime you do that, you're going to be in pretty good shape.
Yeah, I tell you, especially in the first half, Kenny Boynton was wearing a path out on the baseline, chasing Johnson Odom. Is that his name? No, yeah, I'm so tired. Anyway, chasing him back and forth across it. And the one thing that I thought about during this game was you play a team like Marquette, Marquette's going to wear you down. You're not wearing down Florida.
Yeah.
They don't wear down because their thing is to wear down the other team. So what you had were 2 teams, and while sometimes it wasn't the most artistic game, you had 2 teams playing 100% full out every possession for 40 minutes, and that was fun to watch.
Oh, yeah, no question. And, certainly when Marquette made their runs, they cut it to 6 a few times. Florida staved off those runs and, again, did it defensively. And I think that maybe some of the players were fired up by Jay Crowder's comments by saying that this was a limited team defensively. I think they proved that they were much better than that tonight.
How many blocks did they have? I know Beal had 2. I think Murphy had a couple. 5 blocks?
9 block shots today.
9 block shots.
Yep. And out-rebounded them 42-41.
Yeah.
Marquette had a lot of second chance points. They had a lot of offensive rebounds. But I thought for the most part, Florida held its own on the boards and did enough physical things to win the game.
So Florida and Louisville on Saturday at 4:30 your time, 1:30 out here, for a berth in the Final Four. I mean, you couldn't describe. When they're setting these up, and we're conspiracy theorists. We believe that the NCAA does it in a certain way on purpose. But still, you're not thinking Florida, Louisville are going to survive to that point.
Oh, yeah, no question. But Louisville pulling off the big upset against number 1 Michigan State.
And really beat the crap out of them, I think. To me, if you had no idea what those 2 teams were about or anything about them, where they were seated, you said Louisville's by far the better team.
And Deng, their center had a really big day blocking shots and so forth. And Louisville's defending right now at a pretty high level. So it'll be interesting to see what kind of game that we're going to have on Saturday, 4:30 p.m. Eastern, 1:30 p.m. our time. So it's going to be a big one. It's going to be the early one. It'll be the first game to decide who goes to the Final Four.
And we will preview that game tomorrow. So be looking for that video, the latest Hoopscast. This is the latest one now, but then tomorrow that'll be the latest one. So we'll see what happens and whether we are going to go to New Orleans. Are you kidding me? This trip has been unbelievable. A lot of good, but I think we're all running out of clothes and running out of sleep. We all need to get some sleep.
And, you know, possible rematch with Kentucky if they get to
Oh,
Louisville.
I
So
don't even want to talk about that.
get to New Orleans, rather. I'm getting tired, too. I could say get to New Orleans, yeah.
So, all right, tell you, we'll get out of here because we're both punch drunk right now. We still have stories to write to get up on the web at Gatorsports.com. You're on Gatorsports.com right now. Go read our updated stories, okay, when you get a chance. Until tomorrow, Pat Dooley, Kevin Brockway from Phoenix, Arizona saying so long.